Good morning and happy October Tuesday to you guys. It really feels like October today. Wow, we woke up and it was 40 degrees outside. It is the first day I've had to pull out a sweater to wear in the house because it's a little coolish. And it's a bit cloudy and dreary today, so I think that makes it even a little more cool feeling. I'm hoping I'm in the right place. This says I'm live. Usually I have people hopping on, but sometimes it takes a while, so we'll see. I'm going to chat for a minute. I am not complaining about the weather. I was so ready for fall weather. I am good with that, so no complaints here. Our highs are still around 60 today, and then the rest of the week or later this week, it's going to be in the 70s. So to me, that is just perfect weather. And I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. It is Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. And my name is Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I am still not seeing me up and running, which always makes me only a little nervous. You know what? It is what it is. It's Facebook. It's internet. It's what it is. Oh, nope. I see me. I am here. So I don't see people hopping on. Oh, there I have someone. Hi, Pauline. Glad you're here. That is unusual. Usually they're on way before I find me. So I just wanted to be sure. Anyway, let me see what I want to tell you. I think I said this, but I'm going to repeat it. I'm Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I have been an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 27 years, and I love what I do. I'm coming to you from Middle Tennessee in Murfreesboro, and I'm here to help you find the joy of paper crafting and card making. I'm here to give you tips and tricks to make that fun and easy for you. And my goal is to encourage you to send those beautiful creations out to someone else and help make their day. Please be sure to leave me a hello in the comments if you are here so I know you stopped by. And if you're watching on the replay, I love that too, so let me know that. As always, hi Kathy, glad you're watching. As always, I will be drawing from all of the comments on Good Morning Shar on this video today and giving away the project we make. So comment as many times as you like. I love to hear from you. I want to know what you think. I want to know what's going on in your little part of the world. So share with me. Any comments entered today through midnight tomorrow, October 16th, will be entered into the drawing to win that card. I will send the card anywhere in the world. So if you're watching from anywhere, your comments count. Yeah, let me see. Congratulations to the winner of my last card, Susan Vandertoorn. I hope that's pretty close, Susan, to how you pronounce your last name. She won my fall floral card from last time, and that is on its way to her. Also, if you can share my video to a crafty friend, to a crafty group, to your homepage, share me anywhere you like. If you do that, please let me know and I will give you a bonus entry for today's card because that really helps me out as a small business owner. Anything else I want to tell you before we get? Nope, I think that's it. Let's take you down to my table. You're going to see my great clouds, but you're also going to see some changing leaves across the street, which is pretty cool. It is fall, and that is starting to happen. So that makes me happy. I love the fall colors. We missed them when we were in Wisconsin. We were a little too early, but we're going to catch them here for sure. All right, this is me. Maureen Rolfes, the Crazy Stamping Lady. My blog is crazystampinglady.blogspot.com. My email is crazystampinglady@gmail.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady, which is right where you are right now. My YouTube is under my name, Maureen Rolfes, and you can shop with me at stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net. And if you are shopping with me in the month of October, please use my hostess code. It is on the screen right now, and you can take a screenshot of it. It's always posted under the Shop Now tab on my blog and pinned to the top of this Facebook page, Crazy Stamping Lady. So you can usually find it. When you use that code, I get the most benefits for your order, which allows me to give the most things back to you, which I really try to do. If you don't, if your order is over 150, pre-shipping and handling and tax, then don't use the code because you will earn some of your own rewards, and I really want those to go to you when available. No cards to share with you today from friends, but that is okay. We will just move on. Just a reminder that every month when you purchase from me, you can earn a free monthly virtual card class. If you order in the month of October using my hostess code and your order is $50 or over, you will get 3 free card kits. $75 or over will give you 3 free card kits plus a bonus project. The $100 or over will give you those 3 free card kits, a bonus project, and a half a pack of an embellishment. Just a reminder, these are free and they usually contain retired product, but all of the designs are easily duplicatable with what you might have on hand. Any small orders will still receive a handmade card from me as a thank you because I still so appreciate you no matter what size order. It supports my business and supports me, and I am thankful. And all orders, including from $1 on up, will be entered into my monthly drawing for a fun prize. Each month I draw from all of the orders and give away 3 little prizes. My November class for these kits that you're earning in October will be mailed out by November 1st, and the class will be here in this Facebook page, open to anyone who wants to watch, Monday, November 11th at 11 o'clock a.m. So that is that. We do have a starter kit going, a starter kit promotion going, where you can sign up to be a demonstrator this month. You only pay $99, and instead of the normal $125 in merchandise you'll receive, this month you get to pick $155 worth. So it's another $30 added value to an already great deal. All you pay is the $99 plus tax. There is no shipping on this, so that is awesome also. And you will get business supplies that you can use if you decide you want to do this as a business. There are no commitments when you do this. Trust me, it is the best deal in town. If you want to remain active, you'll need to sell or buy $300 in your first quarter. And that quarter doesn't start till January. So you have October, November, December, and then January, February, March before you will go inactive. So it's like a 6-month deal before you have to even worry about that. But if you want to continue, I can certainly talk to you about what all of that means. If you don't meet the requirements, you are just dropped as a demonstrator, no penalties and nothing else. So I would love to chat with you if you are at all interested in joining my team of crazy stamping ladies. We also have a great kit special going on this month. All of the kits in our kits collection are up to 30% off. I went out there and purchased several that I'd been looking at and waiting on, and I am so happy with them. I shared one of them last week, or my last video, so go check that out. It was our Memories and More little little notebook that they've got out, and I am so excited about it. There was so much fun product in there, and I am a notebook person, so that met all of my needs. A big special coming up starting tomorrow. If you are a scrapper, all of the close to my heart products that we have been carrying on the Stampin' Up site. So as you know, Close to My Heart went out of business. Many of their makers came over to Stampin' Up. We were carrying a lot of their supplies on our site. Right now, or not right now, actually, starting tomorrow, October 16th, everything that's remaining in that Close to My Heart section will be 30% off while supplies last. So when you go to my site, stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net, and you choose to shop, under the shopping categories, just choose Close to My Heart products or CTMH products. That category is what is on sale. And again, while supplies last, there's some great stuff out there, guys. Paper Pumpkin. The October Paper Pumpkin subscription period is over. We are now in the one for November, which runs from October 11th to November 10th. That kit is going to be called Filled with Joy, and it'll make 8 projects. There's 8 stockings with 8 adorable gift tags that go with them. All the pieces are pre-cut. They have little safety pins and gold foil to attach them to your little stockings. I think these are great. They look to me from the picture and from what I've seen that they'll be big enough to put a gift card in and some little treats. I am always looking for cute little ways to package up gifts for my mailman and the neighbors and the librarian and different people that I come into contact with. And I think these are going to be great. So be sure you subscribe by November 10th if you want to get this kit. These stockings are fabric, which is really cool too. You'd subscribe at paperpumpkin.com and be sure to choose me, Maureen Rolfes, as your demonstrator. Also, there is currently an add-on. Excuse me again, wow. This add-on kit is good while supplies last. And if you go out there to Paper Pumpkin, you can see it out there. You can order it online. It is only available to Paper Pumpkin subscribers. And it includes this cute little gift tag, the word Merry, and these little leaves or this little fern. So always a good deal to get that add-on. They are fun and inexpensive and a great way to add to your dies. Okay, that's it. Mini catalog. Mini catalog is going strong, guys. Let me see what we're using out of here today. I should have marked my pages and I did not, but I can look up the name right back here and find it, no problem. It is on page 40. And today I'm going to be using a bundle I have not used before online. It is the Christmas Labels bundle. I have fallen in love with it. I just think it is so, so pretty. The sentiments stamp, but they show them on how they cut out with the dies. Realize when you're stamping them, they won't have those dies around them. That's just to make you aware of how they will be. But you can purchase the dies also, and they are beautiful and elegant. And then these dies and this stamp set, if you bundle them and order them out of this mini catalog, they're going to be 10% off. So it would be $46.75 for that entire bundle. So I'm going to be sharing that today. And then what designer paper am I using? Let's see. I'm also going to be using the Take Your Bow Designer Series paper, which is just full of, oh, actually I am not using this. On the sample I made ahead of time, I used this. So you are going to be actually seeing that at the end of the video. It is great festive paper, all these wonderful greens and reds, lots of fun. But for the card I'm making online today, I am going to be using an online exclusive called Iconic Celebrations. And we're going to be using the colors out of these DSPs, which are Mossy Meadow. Is that correct? Mossy Meadow. Is that? Yeah, I think it is. Mossy Meadow. Sorry, having a little bit of a brain glitch there. I'm actually losing my voice to this cough I got from that antibiotic reaction. So, and Cherry Cobbler. So the card I'm making today will use those colors, and then you can compare them and see if you like the more rich and regal colors or the brighter colors. So we'll be sharing that. Give me just a second to take a sip of my coffee. And hopefully that will soothe my throat a little bit. So that's what we're using. What we are doing today is a fun scrappy card. A little different than any of them I've done before. And I know you guys like to use up your scraps. Now what I'm going to tell you is all of the pieces I cut today, I cut. They were not scraps. Although I do a lot of times end up with 1/2-inch designer series paper scraps when I cut down my pieces. And those would be perfect to use. But I chose to cut the ones I wanted so they would all match on this card. But it is a great way if you have a whole bunch of similar colors and want to use them up. This is a great way to use those scraps. So we have a basic white envelope. I have a scrap piece for my sentiment later. We have a basic white card base that is A2 size. So it is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's going to be our base. I have a strip of basic white here, and this one is 5.5. And I would say you don't really want to go smaller than that. You want to go about 5.5, although we're going to cut some of this off. You want to be sure it's big enough when you start with it. And it is 5.5 by 2.5, I think. Yep, by 2.5. So this can vary on yours. If you had smaller scraps, you could make it smaller. But I'm going with this. And then I have a whole bunch of 1/2 inch by, whoa, I just lost it right in my trash, guys. Hang with me while I grab that out of there. That was a scrap that didn't belong in the trash. These are 1/2 inch by 3 inches. So when I chose my size, I wanted 1/2 inch because I think that way I can get a good variety on this piece of paper. And I chose the 3 inches because it was a 1/2 inch longer than this. So that way I could place them easily and just trim them down. So that was how I made my choice on the size. You would vary it if you were going to do longer or shorter. Just make sure your scraps are probably a 1/2 inch wider than whatever this piece is. So this is going to go at a diagonal on my card base. So I'm going to just kind of place this here where I think I want it. And I'm going to take my snips. And this is just the easiest way I've found to be sure I have the right angle, is just to cut it off right when I'm holding it onto my card base. So I'm going to cut it off on that side, flip it. Now you want to hold it in place, so I'm making sure that it's still lined up on this side. And then I'm going to flip it so I can trim this side off. You could also, honestly, lay this card base on top of it, draw a little pencil line and cut it off that way if that's easier for you. But you can see it doesn't show from the back, and when I flip it now, it's the perfect angle for on my card. So that is my easiest way of doing it, although I know there are always numerous ways you can do things. So we're going to set the base aside for a second, and we're going to work strictly on this piece, this diagonal piece. So I'm going to pull out my little silicone mat because I'm going to be working with adhesive, and that way if it gets on here, it's not all over my glass plate. It's easy to take off of here. Usually adhesive will rub right off. And if it gets built up at all on my adhesive pad or on my silicone pad, I just use these alcohol swabs. They're very inexpensive. I use them for cleaning my snips. I use them for cleaning my blocks. I buy them in the pharmacy section of any pharmacy, really. I think the main use of them is for anyone that has to give themselves shots, such as diabetics that have to use them. But I love them. I keep a stash in my drawer. So if this builds up with adhesive, I just take this and wipe the whole thing off, and it all comes off. So when we place our scraps onto this piece, even though this is at an angle, I'm going to place mine straight up and down. Now, they might be kind of cool on an angle. I haven't tried that. So maybe I'll give a card a try and show you next time if I like the way that looks. But we're just going to take some of our seal, and I'm going to go across here, a strip at the top, a strip at the bottom, and then I think I'm going to do 2 more, one down this section here and one here, because I want to make sure these little strips I put on here stay right where they're supposed to stay. Okay, so that is that. I'm going to put this straight up and down, or pretty darn close to straight up and down. And I laid these out ahead of time after I cut them, because some of the plaids have thinner lines, even though they're from the same paper, just the way they cut. Some have thicker. And I didn't want all the thinner together or all the thicker together. In fact, I think I want to maybe reverse these two. I might regret that because I laid them out and I probably shouldn't mess with what I do. But you know what? What the heck? It's a card and we're going to go with it. I'm going to reverse those. So I laid these out on my plate here in the pattern I kind of wanted them. And we're just going to repeat that pattern. So I'm going to start with this one. And I'm going to start along right where this edge is, straight down, and then we'll fill in those peaks later. Just going to try to go pretty darn straight up and down. And because it overlaps, that gives me a little bit of the paper to hang on to while I'm laying them down. And you don't have to worry about the tops and bottoms being even because we're going to trim them. I just want to make sure that I'm putting those pieces right up against one another. So I think it took, we'll count them when I'm done, I have my other one here, but I can't get it right now. But I think it took 11 strips. So we'll see. This is 1, 2, 3. This is 4. So I'm just repeating this design. I just used a couple of my different designs. On this one, I didn't move up quite close enough, and hopefully that won't show up there. I was able to slide it over. No worries, Maureen. Okay. Just try to get it right up to that last one before you put it down on the adhesive. I'm just repeating the design. And I think like this one is the trees on one side and these little boughs on the other. So that one I just used one sheet. I'm not sure. I think I only used one side of the plaid because I didn't like the design on the back as well for this. Let me look at that and see. It was pretty, but it didn't match these colors as well. So here's the next plaid one. Yes, on the back it had kind of these pink. Now that actually might have looked okay, but to me it was just too similar to this and I wanted more contrast. So we're gonna go with this one right here. Okay. And now we can just fill in these end pieces. I am going to put this one over here. And maybe that'll go right up to the end. I think it might. Let's see. Yeah, that'll cover that. And then I want to repeat the design the same way backwards. So instead of putting the tree, which is on top, I'm going to grab this one because I'm going tree, plaid, red. So I'm going to come back to red over here. And then before the red was the plaid, so we're going to grab this plaid one here and lay that on there. All right, that's it. So that's how we used all those scraps on this piece. Excuse me. And then I'm going to come in here with my snips. And I'm just going to cut off all of those edges. Now you can see on these end pieces, it doesn't take a full strip. So I hung on to some of these from my other card because I hope to make more cards like this. If they're big pieces, at least this big, I would say, go ahead and keep them. All these little pieces that I'm going to trim off here, I just threw. I'm not that obsessed with scraps, although I am a little obsessed with scraps. They are hard for me to throw away. I'm going to come down on this other end and we're going to grab this angle. And again, I think this one for sure I will keep, but the rest of these seem kind of tiny, so I'm not going to keep these. And we'll cut off the other ones. So now when I turn it over, you're going to see how cool that looks with all those little scraps on there. Let's get rid of all of these pieces here into my trash. And then voila. Okay, so this is our piece that we're going to put on our card. See how cool that looks with all those stripes? And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to add some color to the back of these. So I have 2 long strips that are 1/2 inch long, I think by 5.5, of both Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler. And I'm laying them here because I'm trying to decide which one I want to use against the paper. And I think I like the way it pops against the Cherry Cobbler. So we're going to do that first. So I'm going to flip this back over. And on the long side, I'm going to lay some seal down. And then we're going to come in here. And I am going to just lay this on here, leaving, I would say, about 1/8 of an inch showing right there on the side. We'll do the same color on the other long edge. Because we want some contrast on here when we place it on our card. We want it to pop against that card. Okay, so that's Cherry Cobbler. Let's cut the excess of this off. So when you're cutting these now, you're just cutting directly with that angle. You're not cutting in. You want that angle to stay. So make sure you do that you're cutting at that angle, just like that. Actually, that might have had a little bit left over, so I'm going to try that again. Make sure I'm right along that angle. There, I think that's better. Yep, smooth as can be. And we'll do the same thing on this end, cut along that angle. And I find it's easier to cut these off before I add my second strips, just because I can get these angles cut better by just watching one at a time. Okay, so there are those pieces. A little one back here that I wanted to grab. The next thing we're going to do now is add the Mossy Meadow. So those are the two predominant colors in this designer series paper. When I do my other one, which I did the Take Your Bow paper, the two dominant colors were Garden Green and Real Red. So you'll see the contrast there. Okay, so I'm just doing the same thing. Adding that strip along there, leaving about that 1/8 of an inch. We'll do the same thing on this side. Catch this edge here. Flip this back over. So doing this on this mat really helps in case any of that glue or adhesive is sticking over. It doesn't stick down on the mat and it lets me work with it very easily. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure that that is completely stuck down. And we're going to trim those also. So again, I'm trimming just on that angle. I'm not cutting that bottom part off, so don't go around and cut that. You want to go just along that angle. And the reason I repeat that several times is because the first one I made, I wasn't thinking, and I went around like I was cutting that off too, and it was a mess. So don't do what I do, do what I say. Learn the lessons from the lessons I have learned. All right, all of these pieces here are scraps. Let's see if I can pick them up easily and get them out of here. My little bitty trash can there. All right. So there is our angled piece and all those beautiful little scraps. So I ended up using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I was right, 11 strips to complete that little image here. Now this is going to get attached to our card at that very same angle, just like that. And look at how that pops against the white. I love that. I think it is just beautiful. Tons of fun. We're going to come in here with our seal, and I'm just going to put my seal all the way down on this Mossy Meadow side and all the way down on this Mossy Meadow side. Oh, it looks like I should have kept my mat out so I could have gone closer to the edge, right? Then I wouldn't have such a mess. But I didn't. So, and then we're going to place this on our card. And I'm going to come up maybe a 1/2 inch or so. The other thing I didn't mention earlier, which I should have, is that you do want to make sure when you're putting your strips on that if they have a right and wrong direction to them, that you're putting them the right way. You want all of your trees going up and down. And some of these little leaves, it didn't matter so much. They were kind of just falling. But on some of them, they looked better one way or the other. So think about that when you're placing it. So I'm going to come about a 1/2 inch up, I think, from the bottom here. Make sure that the angle is right along the side angle of the card. And then I'm going to lay this down onto my card just like that. Now it has a little less at the top. I would say about a 1/4 inch or maybe a 1/2 inch. And I wanted that. I didn't want it to be perfectly symmetrical because we're going to put our sentiment down here where I wanted a little more area on here. But isn't that cool? It's actually a lot of fun. It's really rewarding to put all those little strips on and see it come together as you cut it. At least for me, I enjoy doing that. So next thing we're going to do is grab our scrap piece of paper and our cherry cobbler ink. And from this bundle, so let me show you that up close and personal. Here are all the sentiments you get in the Christmas labels. To you, believe, warm and cozy, peace on earth, celebrate the holidays in all the ways, love and joy, be merry, sweet as sugar plum candy, it's a hot cocoa day, Merry Christmas to you, hope your season is filled with magic and winter wishes. So it is full of beautiful sentiments for this time of year. And then these are the 4 different label dies. And we're going to be using this one right down here. So let me just grab that out before I put these over to the side. Hope you're having a great day. Oh my gosh, I'm just looking outside and it just looks like fall. It makes me so happy. So the sentiment I chose to use on this card is Merry Christmas to you. And I'm just going to ink that up with the cherry cobbler ink. And we're going to stamp that down onto this scrap piece of paper. I'm leaving a little border around the edge because I do want to die cut it. Oh, that didn't come out really dark on the Mary. So I'm going to ink that up one more, and we're going to do this one more time. I love that there's two sides to these cardstock pieces, so I can try again. If at first you don't succeed, let's give it some firm pressure. Much, much better. So we're going to go with that. Oh, I'm not going to close this yet. On the inside of my card, I'm going to use the Be Merry. So I'm going to turn this around because you guys know I like to stamp closer to me. So I'm turning it upside down. So when I ink the Be Merry in the cherry cobbler, I'm also doing that upside down. I'm centering it as close as I can and side to side with a little border on top, just like that. And that just works for me. I find I stamp much better if I do that one upside down so it's closer to me. And then let's do the envelope too while we're here and get that part done. I'm also going to put the Be Merry on there, just like that. All right. Now I can move these out of the way. Excuse my rough voice and scratchiness. Don't know. On that medical report, when I had that little bit of a reaction to my antibiotic, it said that these symptoms can last up to 6 months after you get them. So who knows? This could be a long haul. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is grab my mini cut and emboss machine and my little sentiment here, and make sure that you guys can see this on screen, which I think you can. I'm going to lay that right onto my plate, and we're going to take this die. Now it's the same top or bottom, which is really nice that they did it that way, so you don't have to worry upside down, whatever. And I'm going to center that right over my sentiments, tipping it until I get it the way I want it, because we have all 3 of those words we're trying to center in those sections, which is really easy to do because of how they're stamped. I'm going to put my washi tape on here. When I do washi tape to hold my dies, I always make sure it hits the middle, the die, and the outside, because that holds it in place the best way. I'm actually going to angle this a little bit, just this cardstock on here. And my reasoning for that is this a pretty straight edge here? And the longer the edge when it hits, the harder it can be on your machine. So if you can angle it so only part of it is hitting first instead of completely flat across, it's just easier to do and it's better for your machine. So that was my reasoning there. We're going to run this through. Just like that. I'm going to move this machine out of the way and my plates out of the way. And then we're going to take this die. So let me pull that off of there gently. And that. And there we go. Look at the detail on there. All these little lines are cut and you can see them cut. It just looks so delicate. Now I'm thinking on the right kind of card, you could probably feed a ribbon in underneath on one side and out the other, or even going this way. You could probably do something fun like that. I haven't played with that. I've only used it this way, but I think it is just beautiful, and I hope you can see that detail in there. I think it's gorgeous. So this is going to be our sentiment on the front of our card. I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and we're going to place them right on the back of here. So I'm going to place one in this section. They really won't show because even though it's cut tightly, but I'm going to place them in between all these sections anyway, because that'll just perfectly hold it on my card. Wait, I think I did that backwards. I did. Let's see if I can move them. No, it's going to have to go. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, guys. Never mind, right? I just like to strategically place them so when they're laying on my card, I'm not placing dimensionals on top of these layers, but I did it, and I don't think it's going to matter at all. We're going to come over here and place this partially onto the angled part and partially off. with a little bit of border. So this is again why I left a little bit more down here for balance. So just like that, look at how pretty that looks on there. It is so elegant that you don't need really much more than that. It just makes it pop. But we're gonna add a little bow. And for my bow, I chose to use the silver and white sheer ribbon. So this is in the annual catalog. It is just a sheer white, and then it has a silver border on it. And if you stick around, I actually colored this on my next card that I'm going to show you, so you can see how that would look, because you know I love to color ribbon using my blends. All right, so here's the ribbon. I pre-tied the bow just because I knew those strips were going to take a while, and I had to do die cutting, and I didn't want you to be here all day. We're going to lay that bow down on top of a glue dot and press it firmly and pull it up. If any of the glue sticks out over your bow, just roll it back onto that knot and it'll be fine. And I'm going to place this right up here in the corner above that sentiment. Now it's nice and sheer, so even if it went over your words a little bit, it probably wouldn't matter, but it doesn't in this case, and I think it's beautiful. And then the other thing I did is I took some of my basic rhinestone jewels and I colored them using the Cherry Cobbler blend. So all I did was take the brush end of my Cherry Cobbler blend, ran it around on them. A lot of people use this end, the nib end, when they're coloring these. I usually use the brush. I just think it colors them deeper. I could be totally wrong, but it does mess up my brush end. So if the nib end works for you, it might be a better choice. I don't mind if I ruin my brush end. It's worth it for the beautiful gems. And I rarely use that end for coloring anyway. So we're just going to pick up a few of these little gems, and I'm going to place them right on to my sentiment layer. Just like that. And we'll do one more, I think. Right up here is where I put it, and I like the way that looked. So, and that is our card, guys. Look how pretty and regal that is with those colors, Cherry Cobbler and Mossy Meadow. So, so pretty. I love it. But I'm going to show you the other combination I did earlier, which was using that other DSP, and I love that too. So I'm not sure I have a favorite. I think they're both beautiful. This is the one I will be giving away, the one that we made today. And then here is the other one that I did ahead of time. This one uses the Take Your Bow paper. I used real red for both my gems and my sentiment. I colored that same exact ribbon, this sheer ribbon here with the silver. I colored it with the real red blend, so I had some red on it. And yeah, that's it. Same exact card, two different color combos. I love them both. I think they're beautiful. Tons of fun to make. It was a little addicting when I started laying all those strips down, guys. I know that sounds crazy, but it is true. I will post all of the measurements in the directions or in the description of this post when I post it. So if you want those, you'll have them in a little bit. I'll try to get that done. Thank you, guys. I am so happy you took time out to be with me today. I hope you liked this card or some of the items I shared with you today. Don't forget to leave your comments for a chance to win this card. You have till tomorrow night to be entered, or actually until I draw, which is sometime the next morning. So I would love to hear from you. Every comment counts for one entry. I would love to have your business. If you are looking for a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and products, let me know. If you have an interest in joining my Crazy Stamping Ladies team, let me know. I'm here to be your creative coach. Any questions at all, or if you'd even like a catalog, please just reach out to me in the comments of this video or by email at crazystampinglady@gmail.com. I plan to be back here on Friday with another fun project, so I hope you will plan to join me. Same time, same place. And until then, have a wonderful fall week. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.